This conference will now be recorded.
Hey there, it's Trisha with Easy E-mini Trade. So I did a video yesterday on taking entries using a time-based chart and using cumulative delta. So now I'm just going to show you a little bit more about cumulative delta. I am doing a webinar on Wednesday the 30th at 4:30 where I'll go over the time-based setup. And then I'm also going to go over using cumulative delta. And as I said yesterday, that's thanks to Gord S. For reminding me about it, because I was using just regular delta. So let's get to it, and I'll show you some examples of how you can incorporate into your trading no matter what chart type you're using.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so I'm just going to show you CL on a 1-minute chart. It, like I said, doesn't really matter what size or type chart you use it on. So I'm just going to kind of mush this up here, get it out of the way, and give us more room here. Okay, so I've got the cumulative delta here. This is Sierra. And if you're using Sierra, this is the cumulative delta bars. And what I'm doing is I'm using the close. So this is always going to show this color. You can change your colors for each of the candles that are showing up in cumulative delta. You could use whatever color you want. Hopefully you can see that there. I'm just going to change that color for now a little bit lighter so you can see the number on there. Okay, so you can see this number here. And if it's a positive number, it means we're above 0. If it's a negative number, we're below 0. And mainly what we want to do is we want to see what direction that number is going. So if you're not familiar with the delta, the simplest explanation is it's the difference between the orders coming in at the bid and the ask. So if you have more buyers coming in, you're going to have a positive number. More sellers coming in, you're going to have a negative number. Now, this, you have to remember, is giving us the delta for the entire day. So basically since the market opened last night. So not necessarily does it mean that we can't take a short because it's a positive number. If we take a short, for example, we would want to see this positive number getting smaller. If we're looking to take a buy, we want to see this positive number getting bigger. So how you can incorporate this into your trading, you can see that you've got this area of resistance holding up here around 66.25. And you can see on our delta here that we've got this area of resistance also holding. So if you look back here, you could see it was resistance, 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 and then it popped higher through the resistance, traded through, and then it's holding again and again. And so now, as we're holding resistance on our cumulative delta, we are holding resistance on our chart. So if CL is going to be able to pop through here, this 66.25, what you're going to see is you're going to see this number here, 53.14, whatever it's reading at the time. We're going to need to see that getting bigger and pushing through this area of resistance. If we don't, then this is going to struggle pushing through this area of resistance. Now, not to say obviously that this couldn't push through this area of resistance and then come back and close below, kind of like what you get over here. And this was 6 o'clock this morning. So at the time, this area right here was holding as resistance, right in this general area here, 66.21. You could see it pops through that area right here as this is popping through the resistance here. Now, you could also look for divergences using the cumulative delta, and I'll try to find a good example of that. But basically, just like with regular support and resistance, you're going to just draw some lines, and I start from scratch every day. So let's say that price trades lower. So now you can see this is kind of creating a new area of support here where it's kind of holding up, right? So if CL is going to roll over under this, let's just say this 20 area, you're going to see this number here, because it's a positive number, it's going to be getting smaller, and you're going to see it break this line that I just drew. Okay, it just takes a little practice watching it. And so that can be a way that you can confirm if there's enough volume coming in or enough buyers or sellers coming in to support the trade that you're looking to take. Now, obviously, pre-market is very, very slow, but I wanted to show you this number moving real time here. So let me give you another example.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so here is NQ on a 1-minute chart, and this is Ninja 8. Just thought I'd give you another view here. So you can see the number here. One thing I do want to point out is that the numbers are not going to be exactly the same from platform to platform, but not to worry, it does not make a difference, okay? What's the direction the number is going? Where has it been holding as resistance? Where has it been holding as support? And you can go from there. So if you look at NQ this morning, and again, I know pre-market, there's not a lot going on, but just to give you an idea so you can see real time what the number is doing. You could see this area here holding as support and then resistance, right? At that around that 1100 number there. And you could see price holding, holding, holding. That's the VWAP right there, that red dashed line here. So let's say that you were looking to take a breakout. Let's say that you had a breakout setup that you like to trade. And this is exactly what you would want to see. You would want to see volume of buyers coming in, breaking this area of resistance. So you can see it does, it pulls back, then it pulls back to this area. It didn't quite tag the VWAP here, but pulls back to an area of support. And so anywhere you get like swings, you could mark if you want, but you can see it does pull back to this area of support right in this area here. So if you have price moving higher and your cumulative delta is moving lower, that's a divergence, right? Because if price is going to be able to move higher and continue higher, you're going to need to see the cumulative delta moving higher. And as mentioned before, these are just regular old candles that they use. So if it's a red candle, just means that it closed lower than it opened. And if it's a green candle, it closed higher than it opened. Okay, so you can see this area here, we're kind of creating a new area of resistance up here. So if I, draw this line here, and it kind of held here. I know we had a little pop here with that wick. But you can see this holding resistance here. So now if price is going to break through this fair value area high here, then you're going to see buyers step in and break this area of resistance we have marked. If you were looking for a short, let's say, off the fair value area high and you had a reason to attempt a short off there, like let's say you're trading off a little bit smaller range chart or tick chart and you had some divergence to the downside off of there, then you see something like this, price, the cumulative delta trading up to this resistance and then pulling back off there, and you're looking to take a short off resistance. That's doing the same thing, right? This is holding resistance and sellers coming in, and that's what we would want to see if we were shorting this area of fair value area high. And it's not an ideal example, but basically that if price is going sideways, you have a balanced market, and it requires an imbalance of either more buyers coming in or more sellers coming in order to push it out of that range. So I'll go over more in detail during the webinar next week. I hope that you find that helpful. And if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email, and I'll try to do another video tomorrow. Okay, have a great day, you guys.